Hello everyone, this is Darcinovia here. If you watch my last review, you'll know that I'm done talking about pre-episode 1 stories. Anything that I review after that will be in the episode 1 and 2 era, so it's in between. We're not at the Clone Wars yet, but we're going to get there. Probably, hopefully, in the next few months, because I still have school and other stuff I got to deal with. So let's begin. This book I'm reviewing next is related to the New Jedi Order series, so you could consider this a prequel in a way. Star Wars Rogue Planet. Back when this was released, episode 2, actually, when was this book published? Sorry about that. Not the reprint. Oh, 2001. All right. Episode 1, was still fresh in everyone's mind, and people were waiting for episode 2, and so not many books were released in between this period, and this is one of the rare occasions where you actually get to see a pre-Hayden Christensen Anakin depicted in a novel. Because other than episode 1 and a few of the Jedi Quest books, this is the only other book that depicts a pre-Hayden Christensen Anakin. The reason I'm saying that because there aren't many stories that deal with Obi-Wan and Anakin when they were very young. This is still episode 1 Obi-Wan and episode 1 Anakin. Now, how's the story? Well, if you're familiar with the New Jedi Order series, the planet Zomora Sigort, I think that's what I'm pronouncing right. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I probably butchered the name badly. Anyway, Obi-Wan and Anakin go there, and they meet the natives there. Now, some of the characters from the Jedi Order series, one of them in particular, you will recognize if you read the Force Heretic trilogy. And honestly, reading this book it felt like I was reading New Jedi Order to some extent. But then again, I wasn't at the same time. Now, there's those out there who are very divisive about New Jedi Order because some of them don't like it, or anything that's really related to it. But I personally believe that this book can be read without reading New Jedi Order. I feel like even though it may be a prequel to the New Jedi Order series, it still feels like enough like a standalone story. And honestly, I really like reading about Anakin Skywalker. Because he's probably one of my favorite characters, and I want to see what he was like before he was Darth Vader. And even before the events of Episode 2. Because at this point, he doesn't have a lightsaber. Obi-Wan, still not sure if he's up to the task of training Anakin. I'm not giving too much of this book away because I feel like it's a worthy read. I didn't think I'd be interested at first because of the title, but I enjoyed it, honestly. I'm a huge fan of New Jedi Order. To see something related to it sparked my interest. And another thing that's really interesting is, according to the EU, at least according to this book, this is the first time Anakin and Tarkin meet. Yes, that's right. This book, you get to see the first meeting of Anakin Skywalker and Tarkin, which ironically, they would be working together later in the timeline. This is what I love about the expanded universe. I mean, the continuity between, the movies and the other book works is amazing. Like, this book also explains what happened to the Trade Federation after the events of Episode 1. So even though Episode 2 wasn't out yet, we were learning what was going on in the galaxy during the span of 10 years. And I feel like this era of Star Wars wasn't explored enough, honestly. It's so interesting. And only 3 adult novels exist that take place between episodes 1 and 2. And those were published, while episode 2 was a thing, or before it was a thing. Only one other novel was released, which I'll talk about next month sometime. Anyway, Rogue Planet, the plot was really good. I didn't talk about the plot very much. I'm just talking about overall impression because I don't want to give it anything away really. A character who V'Ger, which is the reason why they go to the planet in the first place, doesn't make an appearance in this book, but she does appear in some capacity. How? Well, if you haven't read New Jedi Order, you would understand. You wouldn't understand how Zimazork works as a planet. So I'm not going to spoil that. Now, if you're reading New Jedi Order right now at this moment, I suggest before you read the Force Heretic trilogy, you read Rogue Planet because the connections those at least the third book especially has with Rogue Planet is astounding. And it was amazing just reading this story, thinking, man, because they mentioned Obi-Wan and Anakin visited there, but that's actually read about them having an adventure there was great. And this is one of the rare books. Is this something that is essential to read? No. Are you a fan of Obi-Wan and Anakin? If you are, you should read this story. Or if you want to, because Grand Moff Tarkin barely makes any appearances in the expanded universe, and he is featured plenty in here. Honestly, if you want to read a story that has that's a standalone that's a set in a period between episodes 1 and 2, but don't want to have it be related to a larger story, you don't really need to read New Jedi Order or have to read it in the future to appreciate this story. I think it's good. It isn't great, but I consider this good. I consider this a good rating. It's definitely worth reading, especially if you're a fan of Obi-Wan and Anakin, and especially if you're like me that loves the New Jedi Order series. It is great. No, the series anyway. Anyway, this is Darcy Novi over and out. Next time we talk about Star Wars, the Legends. I'm going to be talking about the Jedi Apprentice Special Editions. Later, guys, and may the Force be with you always.